All right, everybody. Welcome back.
I'm wearing a hat today, which is fun. You're not wearing a hat.
Linda,
But I feel a little bit like I've been working on the railroad all the live long day. I'm looking at myself thinking, that's it.
And then when you put on the 4-year-old, it looks like Newsies, right?
Yes, he totally looks like Newsies. It's so cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, how about you? What are you up to today?
I'm doing a little bit of a fast that is kind of kicking my butt.
Fast, cleanse-ish type of thing.
Yeah.
So you probably won't be yelling today.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try to do my best.
You're going to try to yell?
But if I fall asleep in the middle of the podcast,
oh my gosh.
please revive me.
I'll revive you.
So if anybody has ever
I'll just
listened,
give you a real elbow to the gut. That should work.
I want to know if anybody has listened to a podcast where the host or guest fell asleep.
Fell asleep?
Do you think that's ever happened
I don't know.
in the history of any podcast?
That feels...
That'd be pretty remarkable if you pulled that off. But
maybe it's a hypnotizing, if it's a hypnotizing podcast.
All right, whatever.
I don't listen to those.
Good.
Because that's not...
Thanks, hon.
That's...
Don't bring that into our house. Okay, so I remember, probably 12, 15 years ago, opening a Mint.com account.
Yeah.
And I had used Quicken prior to that. And I'm like, Mint, this is so cool. It's so
This is
interesting.
amazing.
And they're just doing some really cool, groundbreaking things. And then...
And what did we use it for? Because I remember we used it as a budgeting tool for a while.
I don't know.
No?
No, we used it to kind of track our spending. I don't think we ever used it. We might have tried it that way because they kind of built that stuff in there, but it just was never really good.
Maybe it's progressed.
But anyway, Mint sold to Intuit maybe a decade ago or something, and they honestly just destroyed it.
Oh, man.
And it's not even that they destroyed it as much as they just didn't. They never improved it. Like they just never did anything to really make any substantial improvements to that software over the last decade. And in the meantime, a lot of great alternatives came out of the woodwork and I think stole their lunch. And anyway, but
stole their lunch.
Bottom line is there are millions and millions of Mint users who, as of right now, realize, oh, wow, Mint's shutting down
Mint is
at the end of the year. And so what are we going to do? So today we're going to talk about our two favorite alternatives. And and I say alternatives, but honestly, they're both better than Mint anyway. And like we were using them for a long time because they were just better than Mint.
Yeah.
And so anyway, if you're a Mint, or if you're just leaving Mint now because you're like, I don't know what to do, this will be helpful for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's our job, well, really Bob's job, to come up with solutions.
Well, yeah. Maybe I'll make it your job. Maybe I'll take a month off and let it be your job.
A month?
Well, you want to do that?
I think our
Do the
audience will
solutions.
not be served by that.
I don't know. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be enjoyable.
I mean, my solution would be basically like, well, it's free money now. It's all,
Right.
every man for himself. That's my only solution I have.
So anyway, so a lot of people have used Mint as a budgeting app, in which I would say it's not a budgeting app, even though they call it a budgeting, like they have a budgeting corner in the app and stuff. And the reason why is because when you're just looking back at what has happened, that's not budgeting. Like all that is like, looking back and observing, all right, this is what happened. This is where we spent our money. And that is not budgeting. Budgeting is looking forward and setting a plan in place and having a system in place to help you stick with the plan, right? Mm-hmm. Because I hear people all the time, it's like, oh yeah, I budget, I set up a budget and this and that. And it's like they have no control over their spending because all they're doing is looking back to see what happened. Now, looking back is better than not looking at all, which is what many people do also. Just spend their money, never look back, never look forward, never look anywhere, just spend, and wonder why it feels tight each month, But
but the key to looking back at it is to analyze what's going on, right? Like it's not just to see what happened; it's to make decisions based off the information you're given.
Yeah,
right?
To analyze, look and see where we have spent, and then set systems in place to prevent from overspending in those areas.
Yeah.
But anyway, all this to say, Mint has never really been great at that. They've claimed to be a budgeting app, but they just have not at all been the best option. So if you have been using that, then like I said, we're going to give you a couple different alternatives here. So the first thing I want to talk about, there's two different alternatives that we're calling here. And so the first one is Empower Personal Dashboard. Now, this is not a budgeting tool, but this is a tracking tool. And it's fantastic at looking back and seeing where you've spent your money. And this is a primary reason that we use it, the primary reason that we use it in our courses and that we recommend it to our students, is so that you can easily look back. Honestly, you can go in there, connect your bank accounts. In 5 minutes, you can look back at the last 3 or 6 months and see exactly how much you spent in each of these categories. So it's really powerful to have that information. And for people who don't, it's a really big help.
Yeah. Well, and Empower used to be called Personal Capital.
Personal Capital.
So I'm sure you've heard us talk about this a lot. Do you know why they changed their name?
Well, I think they got bought by Empower.
Oh, okay.
And so Personal Capital was
There you
the
go.
app. Empower is a bigger financial company, and they bought it.
Okay.
And from a rebranding kind of thing, it's a little bit messy because you go into the App Store and there's multiple Empower apps. And so you have to make sure you're getting the Empower Personal Dashboard one.
Okay.
But anyway, what's beautiful is it's a free tool. It does a lot of stuff that Mint does, but more and better.
There you
so
go.
it's great for looking back. It is not a good budgeting app. I don't even know. They might have a budgeting, I'm putting this in air quotes, kind of section. But again, it's not real budgeting. But it's really good for looking back at a lot of different stuff and seeing what you're doing.
So that's what we use.
So yeah, so this is great.
Recommended this for years, right?
Yeah, we've used this for over a decade. They have like 15 million users. It's not a fly-by-night thing. They've been around a long, long time. And we've used this for over a decade ourselves, and it felt real, really good about it. Now, so that's kind of all right, you want to solve the problem of looking back, seeing where your money went, having all the nice, pretty charts and graphs to see, whatever, all the stuff, network tracking, all the stuff. Like, it does all that stuff and a whole lot more. It has like a retirement planner built in, so you can figure out when you're going to retire based on how much you're saving. There's just a lot of cool things that it does. So we'll have links to both of these things down in the description if you want to check them out. All right, so that's for that. Now, the next thing is for budgeting. Okay, or honestly, like what we call unbudgeting. And this is what I would say is our proprietary method that we call the real money method. And we affectionately call it unbudgeting because it's just far simpler and easier and less annoying, I would say, in a lot of ways than traditional budgeting.
It's ridiculously simple. Basically, what happened was when Bob and I first got married, we were trying to pay off all that debt. I'm sure you've heard the story before. We're trying to pay off all this debt. And I was spending 150% of my income. And then
really
we get married.
Doing it in style.
So good. And so when we got married, we both, I pretty much said, Bob, if I don't ever have to think about this again, I will let you do this however you want within reason. Okay.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to have to think about this again. So, one of the things that we found in there was that he didn't think I needed to spend money on makeup or getting my hair done or anything. Obviously, that was just a rookie move because look at him. He's looked like this the entire time I've known him. So
we got that resolved by having a conversation.
Right. So that's what I mean by within reason. But we had to agree upon the amount and, all that stuff. So we started using this method that we have named the real money method, and it worked really well. It was really easy for me to understand. And that was a huge thing because I previously had not been managing my money pretty much at all, but definitely not well. And so it was one of these things that Bob was like, here's how we're going to do it so that you can see what's going on. I can see what's going on. And he kind of taught me the quick little system. And it worked great until he became a big time blogger. And he was like, no, girl, we got to try every single thing. And so we started using all these different apps and stuff. And they would work okay for a while, even though I was like, I was pretty annoyed because I'm like, every time I understand a system, you change it to the next one, which I don't like because, I'm like, this is just going to take me longer to figure out. But, I'd wrap my brain around it until it got to a point where it was like, we're just in the negative. Like everything is red. All the numbers are red and I don't really know what to do. And at this point, we had budgeted our way into having a buffer. So we weren't really in trouble. Like we weren't going to have the lights shut off type of in trouble, if that makes sense. But every time we did that, I was like, I'm done. You just have to fix this. Like, I can't do this anymore. I don't know what to do. And
and the reason it kept going in red is because we weren't dealing with our real money. Like, it was just numbers on a screen. And so...
And we were using, I think, credit cards at the time. We were getting the points.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you think about this. It's like, this was us as a financial educator, Mr. Money, we're getting out of debt, follow me type of plan. And still, this was failing for us. And
and we weren't,
we were on the same page, I think, mostly.
Ish, but like, you didn't have the full ownership of the whole thing.
But I was like, I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to get us into more debt. Yeah. But we were just finding ourselves not able to make the system work for us.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And so one day I came to Bob and I said, he was like, oh, we need a new budgeting thing or whatever. And I was like, dude, I don't know why you're doing this. If there's ever a reason for me to take over our finances, I'm going back to what we did at the beginning of our marriage. And he was like, are you serious? Like, he was kind of annoyed with me. And I was like, Bob, it just was the simplest thing. It's the only thing I could understand and the only thing that I could actually do myself. And he was kind of just like, that is so dumb.
It held us accountable.
Yeah, because it had no
so powerful.
Bells and whistles. So anyway, so he said, well, okay, I'm going to see if my sister wants to try it out. Like, have her be the guinea pig and see if she thinks that it's
after we were using it. So she was a second guinea pig.
Yeah, we had already done it. And so anyway, Bob created this course, and it's just, I mean, I don't think there's anything else like it out there. And we've just tried so many. I think that's the thing, is we've been able to have the privilege to try a bunch of them. All of them are like, you have to pay them monthly, right? All of them?
It's pretty common. It's pretty common.
Which is fine. I mean, they're providing a service.
So our course is a one-time upfront expense. You get in the course, you learn the method, and then you never need to pay a dime ever
again.
Like, because you use your bank accounts. So you don't need any apps. You don't need envelopes. You really don't need spreadsheets. Like, we have a spreadsheet at the very beginning just to walk you through some exercises. But after that, you're done.
Yeah.
You can get rid of spreadsheets.
Well, and the other thing that's in there, I think, that is so helpful is just like a lot of education and information around this topic, which I think for a lot of people can be really daunting and really frustrating, and you're trying to get your spouse on the same page and you don't know how to do it. There's a lot of stuff like that in there that I think that it is.
Yeah.
It's just, I didn't create it, so I feel like I can say this. I think it is really well done. I think you did a great job. And every once in a while I'll be like, Bob, you got to put that in there, because like, not everybody knows that. He forgets what people don't know, When you become when you become so entrenched in a subject, you forget that other people don't know the same things as you know. And so he's done a lot to set us up, honestly, to set me up for success should he not be able to be around for whatever reason. And I mean, I hate talking about that, but at the end of the day, like, it does need to be talked about. And I feel like, especially maybe in our parents' generation or a little bit older, you hear about one spouse dying and the other spouse is like, I mean, I don't even know what to do. I don't know where to start. I don't even know where the checkbook is. I don't know what bank we use. Like, you know what I mean?
Where's the checkbook?
Where's the checkbook? Well, that's why I'm saying that the older generation, because that's what they did. They wrote checks. So anyway, I feel like you've set me up in a way that, yeah, if anything like that were to ever happen, in Jesus' name it won't, but I'm set up in a way that that's not going to be the end of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still going to be able to buy groceries and not fall apart.
So anyway, bottom line, it's really simple. We've run almost 2,000 students through it at this point. The results that we've seen over and over again have been crazy. The number of students have come back to us and said, we're saving $300, we're saving $500, we're saving $800 this month, like over and over, just by implementing this simple system. And it requires, honestly, less time than I would say anything else I've seen, other than doing zero. But honestly, doing zero, it's costing you more time.
See, that's the thing, is I feel like people are like, well, I don't have time to do that. And I'm like, I guarantee you are spending more time on your finances than we are.
Yeah.
And this is like what we do for a
like
living.
we don't have to call each other to ask like, oh, hey, is there money in the checking account to do this? Hey, can I do this?
And we're never worried about how are we going to be able to pay our bills? Like that's not even a question. The money's sitting there ready to go.
It's about organization and having a system, you know? And so we're not spending hours each week analyzing numbers or doing this stuff. It's just a really simple system. We spend 5 to 10 minutes per week, maybe. And we have way less money fights. So
way less money fights.
So anyway, it's worked really, really well for us. If it's something,
I'm trying to think the last time we had a money fight was.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And we used to have a bunch.
I mean, that's so common. It's just because we organized it in a way that we always know what's going on. We might not like what's going on. That's a separate issue. Yeah. But yeah, it's easy to just always have a pulse on what's going on.
Yeah. So anyway, that's enough about that. But if you don't have anything that's working really well for you, holding you accountable, if you're not building savings each month, this will help you do that. Okay. And for all the Mint users and really anybody who wants this, we'll do a 20% off promo. We have 2 different packages of it. The base package is plenty, but if you want more of the bells and whistles, you can get the plus package. But either way, use code MINT20, no spaces when checking out, and it'll knock off 20% for you.
Yeah.
So I'll have a link down in the description. You can get all the details, but it's just seedtime.com/RMM.
Yeah.
Real money method.
And I would also argue that this is a good way to get your spouse involved if your spouse is reluctant.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's just like a, hey, here's what we're doing. I just want you to be able to see what's going on.
Yeah, and
it's very hands off, you know?
Well, and I would say it's a great course to go through with your spouse because you can literally go through all the lessons in less than an hour. So you can instead of watching Netflix one night, you just say, hey, we're going to go through this course real quick. Yeah. And you can put me on 2x speed and you can get through it in probably 35 minutes, you know? So
are you... Like, can we understand what you're saying at 2x speed?
I listen to everything at 2x, so I'm attuned to that.
Do you know there's some people, though, where you turn them on 2x speed and you're like, this is like a foreign language.
That is true. I don't think I'm that. I think I talk slow enough. But anyway, we'll have a link in the description if you want to check it out. Go any further on that. But we just want to share that because I know a lot of you were Mint users and you're like lost puppies right now trying to figure out what to do, where to go. And
that's hard.
And again, like we're not just saying this just because Mint's shutting down. Like this is what we've been using for both of these 2 things for nearly a decade.
Yeah.
And again, it came out of searching and doing tons of research because I have tried. This is what I did for a living was test out different apps and budgeting tools, and I'd write reviews about them. And like I'm just very well acquainted with a lot of the tools out there.
And it has the other spouse's seal of approval. Do you know what I mean? The person who's just like, I don't want to do this, seal of approval, which I think is, it's
pretty good.
That's worth something.
Yeah. So
for sure.
Anyway, that's all we got for you today. Yeah. But hope you're having a great one. Send this to someone who might need it in your life.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Have a great rest of your day.
I got to go. I got to get back to working on the railroad.
Go get those railroads done. All right. See y'all. Take care.